Good morning. I just thought I will share a little bit about my personal motivation to start this whole process and just how my process started right now. I think yesterday I kind of started already. I still had Instagram installed, so now I deleted Instagram as well yesterday evening. And I really feel like sharing a lot at the moment. So I was actually thinking to install Instagram again, but I think I will also check if I can upload on the Instagram through my computer. But yeah, so I started with not drinking coffee, with not drinking tea, with not really using Instagram as well, because I'm not using Instagram anymore that much. It was really, really bad. I was kind of glued to my phone. And then also snacking a lot. That's also something I want to stop. I was already avoiding or not really using sugar, industrial sugar or like snacks. Sometimes I had a bag of chips, but in general, I'm quite good with sugar as well, but I was just emotionally eating. I just was eating nuts and fruits and a lot of stuff in between meals. Whenever I was kind of feeling some emotions coming up, so to avoid that, I was also eating a lot. But yeah, so to start with, yesterday, and in general, I'm kind of facing this inner child wound, this father topic where I have low self-esteem, no self-worth, and I'm just feeling like, whoa, I'm just overwhelmed with my life, and I don't know if I'm enough. So this is something that I'm facing at the moment, and I'm feeling really overwhelmed, and I'm feeling I'm not able to do it. I'm afraid of not succeeding in life. Well, so yesterday I arrived at my friend's place. In the morning I was quite good. I had a nice morning routine, and then I arrived at my friend's place, and I think maybe that triggered me because his life, everything is kind of really great at the moment, and something triggered me, so I suddenly was like really feeling the self-worth issues. Maybe it was also just nothing that especially triggered me. It was just like that I had nothing to distract myself with, and I was just sitting with myself, and then all of these feelings came up. And yeah, I just felt that there's so much, and I needed to move it or to express it. And I was doing a little bit of this tapping techniques, where you tap some points on your body, and that calms your nervous system and makes you able to release. And then you can at the same time also speak about what you're feeling. And I was like just speaking out loud, like, I'm overwhelmed, I don't feel good. And I started crying a little bit, but I couldn't really work through it. So then I went through the topic of going into this whole research more of the dopamine thing, because that was what I wanted to publish yesterday. And then I also published all of these Instagram stories. And yes, and then in the evening after dinner I was speaking to Arnold's again, and I again had this feeling because I didn't fully work through it. I kind of just distracted myself. But yeah, so I already shared like my 3 main dopamine sources at the moment have been drinking too much coffee, snacking, just to like fill this, like just emotional eating in a way, and using Instagram. So because I answered this one question from the document that I wrote down, like, what are the main sources of instant gratification at the moment in my life? What am I doing to avoid being present with myself? What's that? Anyway. And yeah, just researching a lot about this whole topic. was helping me to understand why I'm so unfulfilled, in the matter of fact that I have so much, and why it's so hard for me to sometimes just be satisfied, and why I'm so quickly triggered and all of this. So yeah, then what else I wanted to share? Oh yeah, in general, like, why do I want to have a stable dopamine baseline? So, well, I'm kind of feeling really restless. I'm constantly in a state of stress. Not constantly, but too much, I would say. I'm not happy with this current state. And yeah, my thoughts are constantly going so quickly. I really have struggles to just trust, because there's so much fears coming up and so much doubts, and this is probably because I'm in the state of yeah, just in the fight or flight state. I mean, I'm doing all of this yoga and meditation and breath work and trying to eat healthy and all of that, but in the end I think I still have so much that is keeping me away from actually resting, and one of that is probably this dopamine overload. So yeah, it's really hard to be present with myself, and then my ego comes and just tells me to be like, use some coping mechanisms, that I need something from the outside, like a coffee, or it can be anything, just to distract myself, just to keep myself busy. Like, even if I have something to do, like I'm working on something, I'm reading something, my mind is constantly going places and constantly jumping, and I'm having kind of always at least 2 thought streams at the same time. Of course, not when I'm speaking and when I'm just focusing on one thing, but when I'm, like, for example, reading, even while I'm reading, my thoughts are going and thinking about other stuff while I'm reading, and I think that's just means that I cannot focus, and I don't have the proper clarity, because my mind is constantly alert and constantly, like, looking for dangers, you could say. But of course there's nothing dangerous. But I got through that point at some point in my past where I was just like, why is my mind always so present? And that is correlated also, I guess, to my self-worth issue, which comes from the missing presence of a emotional or spiritual father figure. So I was just lost in my childhood, in my early years, and I didn't feel safe emotionally. I didn't feel accepted, seen, and then I still have this feeling of not being safe, not being enough in me. So my mind is constantly trying to secure my environment, to be like, okay, like, and I don't feel safe in a way in this world, because I'm so conscious and aware of all of this suffering, and I have this belief that the world is going to end in maybe 20 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 30 years, because of how we treat this earth. So my mind is constantly going places and constantly trying to save the world. I could say so, because yeah, of course, if I spend time just doing self-care, I'm easier, and I'm feeling better. But then my mind is kind of trying to provide this safety for myself and trying to change the world, solve the big picture, and making people aware of that we are all one and that we have to treat our planet properly. And I'm really kind of getting lost here and just talking in all directions. But yeah, I think it helps me to just share and to understand myself better. And I really encourage you to do the same. Do and record this video for yourself and maybe for the group if you feel like sharing. But anyway, so yeah, and then the coffee topic, I think it's also related. And in general, one thing I also want to share, I was smoking cannabis for 5 years, so that was my old coping mechanism of getting dopamine and just running away and distracting myself from this heavy emotions, and from just being with myself and facing that. Because, well, it's a dopamine fast, yes, and we want to, of course, feel more fulfilled, have more clarity, and be more emotional stable. But it's not so easy just to remove the dopamine and like rationally, like it is a process, a simple process, but the heavy stuff that's coming up through this process, that's not so nice. And yeah, so yeah, and then also my motivation is to get better sleep, because I'm not really sleeping deeply. I'm waking up a lot, and I did not really wake up good, so I cannot really wake up properly at the moment. I'm really tired in the morning, and I really want to just wake up and be full of energy and start my morning routine, start my day. And then, yeah, so these 3 topics for me during these next 7 days are my self-worth, and the question, like, do I have to prove myself to anyone that I am enough? Because I know that, but then my mindset, my beliefs come, and I'm feeling so shitty. Then one more thing is that's more like work related, but I have this passion project which I want to work a little bit more on to finish it this week. And then I want to look for a job, because this is also making me so anxious at the moment, because I'm financially not stable and I don't have a job, and that's also kind of one of my self-worth issues, that I'm not financially stable at the moment, and that I cannot afford anything. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna share one more practice with you and some resources. But yeah, I'm grateful if you really listen to this all.